The Department of State Services, or the DSS, has joined the group of Nigerians asking for an end to the federal government and ASUU imbroglio. The director of the service in charge of Yobe State Command, Yunusa Abdul Kadri, has appealed to the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, to call off the ongoing strike. He noted that the strike, which has paralyzed university education in the country, has security implications. I agree. Or what do you say, Dr.?
Yeah, completely. I actually love the angle from which the DSS has approached the issue.
Yeah.
And it's something for us
to chew?
actually consider, and very seriously too. Because some of the figures in terms of crime now, when you weigh it in the last 6 months, they've tilted towards the young and undergraduates. Drug usage, some involved in kidnapping, outright stealing, and you have a lot of stories out there where an undergraduate, some of them have also fallen victim of the crime in the society. Consider the young lady who went for a job in the hotel in Ogbomoso.
Okay.
The student of Ladoke Akintara University of Technology. She was kidnapped along with her boss, who owns the hotel, and she didn't make it, despite the fact that ransom.
Although my trouble with that is, wanting to link it to the strike.
Yes, it's in some of these cases, for instance, if the students weren't home, we say something that we have adopted, an idle land. It's a devil's workshop. You may say that they have the tendency to want to engage in crime, but you have not even provided them with an alibi.
Doctor, but there's this popular saying, society prepares the crime, the criminal commits it.
Yes, but when you don't even, when the criminal in you is not given the room to fester, then there will be nothing to do. Because if these guys are in school, they are engaged with their schoolwork, some of them will not be on the streets.
Okay.
And that is where this other fear is, that if the protest by the students should continue, it will get to a boiling point.
But I hear the students have dropped any such plan.
You may say so, but don't forget that at some point during the NSAS protest, those who championed it said, we are going home. Some
until it was hijacked.
Stayed on the street because they hijacked the protest. And if we have this kind of scenario, it won't be good for anyone.
Bolaji, my trouble here at this point is the court angle to it. The court has ordered ASUU to go back to work. None of us is a lawyer here, but I'm wondering how that works.
Well,
has it bothered you in any way?
Well, it's quite, the ASUU federal government face-off is a major concern to every parents in this country.
Yeah.
And why do I say this? It is always a known fact, and it's even stated in the Holy Book, that the devil finds job for an idle hand. Some of our young people are out there, they're doing nothing. And that's why I align with Dr. here that, look, when you allow these children to be around doing nothing, they get engaged in some other things that are not supposed to be. And with the court thing, ASUU has responded to that they are going to challenge that ruling.
Yeah, they are appealing it.
They are appealing it, and that's quite unfortunate because I tend to want to ask ASUU, what exactly are you? What is the fight? The federal government has considered so many things. Everybody is facing one problem or the other in the country today. There should be a concession, even for nothing else, for the sake of the students that have been there for about 7 months.
Over 7 months.
Yeah, over 7 months now.
7 months.
So it's rather worrisome that ASUU is still going to challenge this thing, the appeal court. It's really not too good at all, and it doesn't show that they are actually concerned, and they don't show. It doesn't show as if ASUU is actually seeing things the way most Nigerians are seeing it. These students are tired of staying at home. They have been protesting. Everybody has been calling them.
No doubt the face-off has split of opinion in the country.
Oh, sure, it has.
some are staying with ASUU, some are staying with government. Yeah. But there's something to consider. Aren't you thinking of a moral victory for ASUU now? Concede, yield the ground, and...
that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm saying, that, look, what is it that they are looking for again? At the stage, when you start fighting, if there's this Yoruba thing, I don't know how I'm going to put it. There was this story of the tortoise who committed a crime, and it was placed by the roadside, was tied by the people, and the people were going to the market. They saw it, they start blaming. You know, when they were coming back in the evening, they still saw the tortoise tied to that same spot. Yeah. They now start blaming the person that tied the tortoise. What is it? Not be this, you know? So I think
ASUU the one
So I think ASUU should just watch it, because people are getting tired of this strike that seems to be unending.
Yeah, Doctor, but you think both sides don't have an argument, have a point? The federal government has a point.
They do.
The ASUU does have too.
I've said it here a couple of times. Some of the issues ASUU brought up, I really can't relate with them. Like I said, I'm not a major in education. But even if it's just 10, 20 people I have working for me now, I know that none of them can come and tell me this is the way you are going to pay me.
Yeah.
If I decide to pay you cash, then you must take it.
Yeah.
And
Dr. Sorry, we are joined by Efosa. Efosa is calling us from Benin. Good evening, Efosa. How are you?
Good evening. It's nice to be on your show.
Yeah, welcome.
I really want to contribute what you are saying about the ASUU strike. First of all, I just want to say that the public expects journalists to be the one to fill them with what they are to know about the impasse between ASUU and federal government. I think your colleague over there is not putting things right. It has been everywhere on newspaper that our federal government has done this, has done that. And ASUU has challenged them many times to come out and say, this is what you have done, this is what you have not done. They've not done that.
Yeah.
So nobody should come out and misinform the public. The fault is for the government, 100%. So
okay. That's thank you, Efosa. That's in your estimation. But I'm saying when a quarrel drags on for too long like this, both sides are guilty.
That is my own point also. Because when you get to a point
why you
where...
hold on to your point, I want to say, if you go into an agreement, as they say, the street lingo is agreement is agreement.
Agreement, agreement.
So why go into an agreement you are not, you are not going to honor?
That was the point I wanted to make, that the federal government made some commitments. And that commitment, whether it was made by this administration or the one before it, is a commitment on behalf of the government.
Government is a continuum, they say.
You can't run away from that. But we then must be careful that, say, if I made an agreement with you last year and I was selling, let's use the case of Nigeria, so liters of crude oil, from which I took my estimation. And then this year, that has dropped by maybe 1/3. Then there is a need to come back and agree again.
Yeah.
Because the collective bargaining agreement allows for that. You have come to me, I've said I'll give you 200 naira. But I can't make that 200 naira again. Can we sit down and look at this? And that's where the government has gone wrong. Because you cannot afford not to listen to these people.
Yeah.
You've got to also explain needs to them. That's it. You are not the only ones suffering. When you run from Ibadan and you want to come to Lagos, the amount of time you spend coming from Ibadan, even from Ilorin at times, up to where you have the Punch newspaper, you are going to spend more than that getting into Lagos.
Sure.
3, 4, 5 hours. Why is that? Because we didn't fund that project on time.
Sorry,
We didn't.
James has joined us from Ogudu here in Lagos. James, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Citizen.
Shoot, go on.
My name is James.
All right then.
I'm 78 years old. I can hear you talking about education here. All these years, what father will have an agreement with his child for such a long time and continue to continue to disabuse his child from getting what he has promised? That's not how to be a good father. Lecturers have tried, as far as I'm concerned. I went to school in Ibadan in the 60s. We knew what we got. These people who are refusing to negotiate with the lecturers knew what they got when they were in school. Are they giving the opportunity they got to the current day children? Government should be a government that honors its word.
Yeah.
That is what I think we should be doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very kindly. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, let me say something, and that is, we have to give the federal government this. From the statement they made,
Give the
about
federal
100
government
billion
what?
was, yeah, the fact that they are also ready to negotiate and end this.
Imbroglio.
Yeah, you see, because I learned that 100 billion was released to ASUU, and apart from that 100 billion, you know,
No,
they
no,
still
200 in the time of Goodluck, Jonathan.
No, I'm even talking about this present
Oh, the
administration.
current one, okay.
You see, yeah, and I will go back to that, the Jonathan administration too. You see, because the federal government the people that are there today said the agreement that government had with ASUU was like a banana peel. You understand? Well, that notwithstanding, this government, the present administration, released about 100 billion to ASUU. Apart from that, they released about 50 billion as earned allowances. Isn't it? And apart from that, they have increased the salary of professors by about 35% or thereabout. And other lecturers about 25%.
Yeah.
They are considering certain things. For God's sake, ASUU should also consider some things too. I'm not saying the fight they are fighting is they are not right because they want a better education system for the country. But the fact is that the federal government has considered certain things. They should also be able to bend backward a bit. You can't continue like this.
Citizen, let me add this.
Quickly, before we move, I go back to what the DSS boss in Yobe has said. It has security implications,
yes.
and the elections are almost here.
So, which is why some are even fearing that schools may not resume until after election. Because the way we are going about it, we are not looking at what it portends for these students. Some have finished their final year exams 7 months ago. They are just waiting for lecturers to mark it and send them into service here. But also, we shouldn't forget that this autonomy that these lecturers are talking about, they must also sit down and look at what is happening in the private universities and not just come and say government fund us fully. We also as parents should be able to concede some things. If a private university is taking 1.3 million, 1.4 million to read mass communication per session, then I don't see why those in federal and state government universities can't pay up to 200,000-300,000 because it makes it useful.
All right. The argument and the debate will continue, but
Forever.
then
Forever.
So let it be with Caesar, okay?